The sound of the underground. Good evening. Tonight we delve into the personal soundtrack of a rock and roll icon. For over 5 decades, Ozzy Osbourne has reigned supreme, known globally as the Prince of Darkness, the Godfather of Metal, and the singular voice of Black Sabbath. His life has been a chaotic masterpiece of headline-grabbing moments and relentless sonic innovation. But even a legend of his stature has heroes, influences, and records that molded his very being. Ozzy has finally delivered his definitive, untouchable list of the 10 rock albums that changed his life and forged the foundational sound of heavy metal itself. This list is far more than a simple countdown. It's a profound look at the music history that fueled the fire in Birmingham. The results, as expected from the Madman, are utterly shocking. Which Black Sabbath masterpiece made the cut? And did the artist famous for his onstage antics put a soft rock ballad collection in his final 3? Stay with us as we count down the albums that truly define the Madman's musical madness, giving us an unprecedented look into the mind of the genre's most crucial figure. Kicking off the countdown, Soul and Swagger, Album 10. We begin our highly anticipated countdown at number 10, and this selection instantly proves Ozzy's musical palette is richer and more sophisticated than his public persona might suggest. He selects the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street. Released in 1972, this double album was famously recorded in the basement of a rented villa in France, resulting in a sound that is notoriously raw, messy, and wonderfully unpolished. Ozzy loves the sheer, uncut swagger and the loose blues-infused energy of the record. He appreciates how the album sounds like it was recorded on a tape machine held together with nothing but bad intentions and good whiskey, capturing a sense of glorious, uncontrolled rebellion. You might expect the Prince of Darkness to prefer something slightly more polished than Keith Richards slouching around a French basement, but it seems even the Madman appreciates a good dose of rock and roll grime before things get truly heavy. This record stands as a testament to the Stones' enduring power and influence, demonstrating that true rock doesn't need perfect studio clarity, it needs soul, and Exile has soul in spades. Moving quickly to number 9, we land on a record that undeniably helped lay the heavy foundation for Black Sabbath's existence, Deep Purple's Machine Head. The impact of this album is impossible to ignore. It's a masterclass in hard rock precision, anchored by tracks like Highway Star and the globally recognized guitar riff of Smoke on the Water. Ozzy credits this album as a complete sonic earthquake, capturing the fierce, almost competitive energy that the heavyweight bands of that early 70s era shared. For Ozzy, the power of this record wasn't just in the volume, but in the musicianship, particularly Ritchie Blackmore's technical virtuosity. It makes sense that he'd respect Deep Purple. After all, if you're going to invent heavy metal, you need to know who is laying the concrete right next door with equally powerful, genre-defining riffs. We assume he picked this one so he had a few safe, non-controversial, universally loved tracks to play at his next tea party. Just kidding, of course. Knowing Ozzy, he probably uses it to scare off the neighbor's dog. The Psychedelic Detour. At number 8, the list takes a fascinating, unexpected detour into pure 1967 psychedelic darkness with The Doors' debut, self-titled album. This choice is arguably the most insightful look into Ozzy's own troubled genius and fascination with the macabre. This album resonated not because of heavy riffs or driving drums, but because of Jim Morrison's sheer, mind-bending darkness and the poetic, almost theatrical nature of his lyrics. The Doors represented a true, unpredictable chaos, a band operating completely outside the normal boundaries of pop music. Ozzy respects the pure original artistry of a band willing to explore the shadow side of the human psyche. It shows that the Prince of Darkness has a soft spot for the original mad genius of rock, and we're guessing that album provided the perfect, slightly unsettling background music for those early experimental Black Sabbath writing sessions. This selection highlights that even the heaviest of metal gods appreciate mood and mystery over simple loudness. The Revolutionary Guitar Sound, Album 7. For number 7, Ozzy selects a record that is universally recognized as a revolution, Jimi Hendrix's Are You Experienced? Released in 1967, this debut album redefined the possibilities of the electric guitar. According to Osbourne, this album marked the first time a guitar wasn't just played, it was wielded like an impossible, futuristic weapon by a genius who seemed to be playing from another planet. Hendrix instantly changed the very sonic landscape, pushing distortion, feedback, and studio techniques far beyond anything heard before, resetting the benchmark for every single guitarist who followed. Ozzy respects the pure, unadulterated shockwave that blasted onto the scene. It's nice to know that even Ozzy realizes you should respect your elders, especially the ones who could make a simple instrument sound like a complex, futuristic orchestra. This album's influence on the textures of Black Sabbath's early material cannot be understated. It taught bands that sound manipulation was as important as songwriting. The Zeppelin Phenomenon, Album 6. At number 6, we encounter the first of the massive, era-defining records, Led Zeppelin's Led Zeppelin 4. This album, featuring classics like Black Dog and the ubiquitous Stairway to Heaven, is a titan of the genre, selling over 37 million copies worldwide. The shocking part isn't that this album made the list, it's a stone-cold essential, but that it's sitting this low. Most rock critics would instinctively place this masterpiece in the top 3, making this an undeniable snub by Ozzy standards. Perhaps the album's massive commercial success or the acoustic folk detour of going to California didn't resonate with his darkest sensibilities. Maybe, just maybe, he got tired of hearing Misky Mountain Hop being played at full volume on every jukebox he walked past for 30 years, proving even rock gods suffer from overplay. His low ranking here only builds the tension for the albums he deems genuinely more influential. The foundation of metal is revealed. The palpable tension is finally resolved. We arrive at the album that created the genre that defined his life. At number 5, Ozzy slots his very own creation, Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Released in 1970, this album is not just a classic, it's the official moment the world got metal. Featuring the crushing title track, Iron Man, and War Pigs, this record perfectly captured the menacing, unsettling atmosphere of industrial Birmingham, establishing the sonic blueprint for doom and heavy rock. Ozzy calls it an absolute, timeless masterpiece, recognizing how the collaboration of Iommi, Butler, Ward, and himself forged an entirely new world of sound. This album is his DNA, but the fact that he ranked 4 other albums above his own legacy is a monumental statement about the power of music over ego. It takes a special kind of humble madman to admit someone else did it better, at least 4 times better, proving he's still the most unpredictable man in rock. The Unstoppable Power Trio. Building the suspense as we reach the very top of the hierarchy, Ozzy places Led Zeppelin's debut self-titled album at number 4. Released in 1969, this record hit like a bolt of lightning, fusing raw blues, psychedelia, and thunderous volume into a singular sound. For Ozzy, this album signaled the true, undeniable dawn of the rock era, proving that heavy, blues-infused music was the ultimate evolutionary step. The record's ferocious, unrestrained energy resonated with him, showcasing a band that could instantly destroy an arena without needing a $1 million light show, just 4 virtuosos at their peak. He respects the sheer impact of the album, which showed Black Sabbath exactly where the new standard had been set. It appears Mr. Osbourne has a great appreciation for bands that can sound heavier. The Quiet Genius, Album 3. Landing in the highly contested number 3 spot is the most unexpected and revealing selection, the Beatles' Revolver. Released in 1966, this album is often cited as the dawn of the studio era, where the Beatles proved that music didn't have to be performed live, it could be constructed in layers. Forget metal and dark magic. Ozzy respects unparalleled songwriting and pure invention above almost all else. He views this album as a towering work of art, praising the pure musical genius and the sonic experiments on every single track. This choice shatters the public image of Ozzy being purely about shock value, revealing a deep, almost academic appreciation for melody, craft, and studio innovation. It makes you wonder if he secretly hums Yellow Submarine to himself while he's waiting for a blood test at the doctor's office. The King of Kings, Albums 2 and 1, and Conclusion. We've reached the final two. The album at number 2 is The Beatles' The White Album, or the official self-titled record. Ozzy respects its sheer sprawling scope and the way it shattered their clean image, showing the internal chaos and creativity. It is the perfect antithesis to Sgt. Pepper's. But it is the ultimate masterpiece, the number 1 spot, the album Ozzy calls perfect, the record he says every single band must study, that takes the crown. The Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. He argues that this 1967 record is the most revolutionary, inventive, and structurally important rock album ever made. It wasn't just music, it was a cultural event that completely shattered the mold of what an album could be. The Madman's list is complete, a wild, chaotic, and deeply personal reflection of the music that created him. The ultimate lesson from the Prince of Darkness? Even the godfather of metal bows to the sheer, undeniable genius of the Beatles.